How to get SA deals from letting agents. Hello and welcome to the Property Unleashed. My name's Mark Fitzgerald. It's fantastic to have you joining me here today. So today I'm going to talk to you about how you can get deals from letting agents and SA deals, more to the point. In other videos, I speak to you a lot more about HMOs and about purchase lease options and deal sourcing, but today I just wanted to focus on serviced accommodation, SA as it's known. This is where you take properties and you let them on portals like Airbnb, Booking.com, and you let them out on a weekend basis or on a short-term let basis, basically. But they're a great strategy to be using when you want to work with letting agents in your area. Now, let's face it, right here, right now, interest rates are going up. A lot of people are saying interest rates are going through the roof. They're not actually. It's just balancing out a little bit. I always say you need to be the property professional of your area. And at the end of the day, interest rates are just balancing out. They're going up. Because they've been so low for so long, we feel that it's going through the roof and the cost of living's going up. But I actually remember as a kid, interest rates at one point were at 18%. 18%. So we're nowhere near anything like that. Now, if they were going near there, then I would be saying they're going through the roof. But at the end of the day, they're just balancing out. And I think it'll probably hover in and around this area for the next couple of years anyway. So let's just get used to it. But let's take advantage of it. Let's help people. Let's work with other people. Let's work with agents. Let's work with landlords. Let's create a win-win situation for everybody. And of course, by working or going through letting agents, you can really find a nice balance. You see, with interest rates going up, a lot of landlords and a lot of new landlords who are maybe just 5 years into the term of their mortgages are coming up for renewal. Now, they balanced them out, these single let properties, which is a buy to let property where you just let it to the family. They balanced it out 5 years ago and it worked really well. Maybe it's making them a few £100s a month. Now, if they've got to renew their mortgage because they were on a fixed term for that time and it's coming to the end, then they're going to be pretty worried because all of a sudden the interest rate from what they had maybe have doubled, maybe even tripled. It might be the case that their rent doesn't actually cover their mortgage. So they're going to be out of pocket. So landlords like that are going to be thinking about selling. Now, why is that good for us if landlords are thinking about selling? Well, I'll tell you, because it means that letting agents are going to start losing clients. Okay? The more properties that they lose, the more their business shrinks. So they are looking for ways to stop this from happening. And we can help them and show them how we can stop this from happening. And I say when we show them, we only show them what we want to show them. At the end of the day, transparency is key, but a lot of these letting agents don't want to get into the serviced accommodation market. It is a noisy market. There are a lot of moving pieces, but if you set yourself up right and you know what you're doing, then it can be a very profitable area to be in. If you need help with this, visit thepropertyunleashed.com, where we have a 10-step serviced accommodation guide that you can download and you can read through, and it's the 10 steps to setting up a serviced accommodation business. Okay, we also have the ultimate serviced accommodation business builder training program. So if you really want to upscale and you want to use rent to rent and different methods to acquire properties and build a successful serviced accommodation business with the experience and expertise of Graham Linley, then that is also an option for you. And take a little look, and if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me about them. But let's now look at how you can position yourself really well with letting agents. So first and foremost, it's important to really start to build up rapport with a letting agent. So don't expect to just walk straight into a letting agent's office or get them straight on the phone and get deals. Deals will come rolling through after one conversation. It's pretty unrealistic, okay? It takes a bit of time to build up rapport with these people, and you need to go in there, and I say just go in there and start talking to them about a few properties on their books and see how the conversation goes. Now, if the conversation starts to go really, really well, you can say, would you have any landlords who would be open for a corporate let? Now, I use corporate let term when it's serviced accommodation because it is pretty much a corporate let. It is a short-term let. So it could could be somebody relocating that needs to stay somewhere for a month. It could be somebody that just wants to stay there for a weekend. It could be commercial people who are coming there and working for businesses as well, who just need maybe a week, maybe 2 weeks, or maybe ongoing accommodation. So it is very commercialized, okay? So it's easy to go in there and say, would you know any landlords that potentially are interested in a corporate let? We can take the property on, i.e. using the strategy called rent to rent. Rent to rent is the strategy where you get somebody's property, you manage it for them, very much like a letting agent, but you offer the landlord a guaranteed rent each month. You don't do these with ASTs, you use proper management agreements or lease agreement contracts, and it's like a business to business deal. It's not you are the tenant on an AST, okay? A lot of people get confused with that. Now you can do this as a rent to rent, or you can do it potentially as management as well. Now, I know, and I have students and I have people around me as well that are working with letting agents on a management agreement because they've already got a few rent to rents, or they've got a few properties that they own. They're doing serviced accommodation and they want to build the portfolio and scale it up really quickly. It can be a great way to do things. And even on management, which is where you manage the property, none of the liability or risks are yours. You manage the property like a letting agent, but you do it in serviced accommodation. So with no liabilities, setting yourself up correctly, you can still make probably about £1,000 plus a month. Think about it. Rent to rent might get you 2 or 3 grand a month, but on management with no risk, you might make, or you can make in and around £1,000 a month by setting yourself up. So have a few rent to rents, have a few managements, and we show everybody how to set this up and how to do this compliantly and successfully in the Ultimate Serviced Accommodation Business Builder. So you want to be going into the agents, okay, and you want to be saying to them, have they got any landlords potentially whose mortgages might be coming up for renewal and that might be struggling with the cost of the rents and things? We like to work with these landlords, we like to help these landlords, and we can work with you as well to help these landlords, and we do it through corporate lets. We do it through working and using the properties for short-term accommodation. Okay, now this won't work with everybody. Some will say no. Well, a lot will say no, let's get it straight. But you might just come across and start to find certain agents, as they become a little bit more desperate themselves because they're losing clients, that want to actually be able to offer this service. Maybe they don't want to put all the time and effort into this service. They can use you for that. They can still get their fee, because you've got to remember, if you're letting out a traditional buy-to-let property, let's say for argument's sake, depending on where you are in the country, but let's just say the buy-to-let makes £700. They can put it out there for £700 a month rent, okay? Now, if it's a buy-to-let, obviously the family or whoever moves in will pay their own bills and everything like that. But let's just say their mortgage used to be £300. They're coming up for a renewal and it's doubled. It's now £600. They might make £100 profit, but once they've got the house insurance, once they've taken tax and everything off of that, they're not going to make anything. In fact, they'll probably end up losing money. So all of a sudden, the landlord's saying, I need to get rid of these properties because they're liabilities. Now we can go in there, we can do short-term lets, and depending on the numbers, we can potentially double that, £1,400 to £2,000 to £3,000. So there's more profit in the deal for the letting agent to be able to get their fee, for us to be able to make what we do, whether it's a rent-to-rent management agreement or whatever we do. There's the money there, and there's more profit overall for that landlord to make their asset and their property more viable. Okay, they'll want to keep it, because not only will the property be able to wash its face, but it will also make them more money than they were probably making before we started doing this. You just need to learn, and this is again where we teach people how to position this when you're actually talking to people, how to position yourself to be able to go in there, okay, not all flash and all, hey, we can sort this out, we can do all of this, but going in there and just breaking this down in very simple terms, explaining the process to a point. As I say, don't go into too much detail, or they might choose to do it themselves. But we can go in there and explain the process and also help them with how to do this, okay? So that is very, very important. We can offer the letting agent and the landlord peace of mind that we will be looking after the property. We have to maintain the properties to the highest standard because we want to keep our bookings coming in. We want to keep our customers happy. So they'll all have better profits, hassle-free investing, their assets taken care of, and can continue to grow as the market grows as well. And they also know that they're in safe hands and everyone is a winner. We make it a win for the landlord, a win for the agent, and a win for us. We need to know how to stack these deals properly to make sure that it is a win-win-win, and we need to be able to position them. But if you can position them, and you can get in with a letting agent, you can put yourself in the best possible position for success, because if they've got 300, 400, 500 properties on their books, if you could get 5% of those properties, you will have a scaled, profitable serviced accommodation business that will stand the test of time, and you will have a lead onto any new properties that are coming on, and potentially even the letting agents will say, we've got a package here that might interest you in the future. So it can be great. So it really is worth looking to work with agents, getting in there, speaking to agents, because the possibilities are endless. So if you can get in there and you can work hand in hand with the letting agents, you will be on the road to success. Again, we have the ultimate serviced accommodation training program to help you do this with Graham Linley, who's got over 7 years worth of SA experience, survived pandemics, recessions, has built a massive business up and shows people now how to do exactly the same. So I hope you've enjoyed this episode today. If you have, do feel free to like, subscribe, share, leave a comment, reach out to me on social media. Always happy to help, always happy to support you. Okay, serviced accommodation is a fantastic strategy to be getting into right here, right now. We can help you with that if you need it. Okay, so until the next video, you take care and bye for now.